Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Let me make sure I get this. 951 days. 951 days today since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And, he didn't just vanish. Something happened. And we're getting to the bottom of this, and it has to do with child sex trafficking, and it has to do with airdropping child porn because he reported to it could be possible that he reported to his command first, and they told him to shut up. They told him to get lost, and they don't, they're protecting the child porn industry, the child sex industry. Could be, seems to be. I can say definitively that the military is supporting the child sex trafficking. Okay? I can say that definitively because of the amount of porn that is being delivered through these servers, airdropping or connecting to the servers and to phones. And any kind of porn, thanks to Kanye West, who goes by the name Ye, right? Okay, he goes by the name Ye, and he laid it out very clearly that if you support any kind of porn, you are essentially supporting child sex trafficking, and absolutely, absolutely. So go and listen to the interview. It is very informative, and you will understand that I can definitively say right now that the United States military is supporting child sex trafficking. Of course, they have a failure with everything, and the only thing that they don't have a failure with is selling us out, betraying the Constitution, the land, and the people, failure in all programs, failure on all campaigns. They can't even find a missing soldier from Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. Give me a break, you know. So they're not failing with the cover up. They're not failing with servicing foreign and domestic enemies against this country. That's not where they're failing. Okay. But the problem is so many are hypnotized to believe that that our military is defending this country. Right now, we are defenseless. They are not defending this country. Okay, 100%. They are not defending this country. Their agenda is something else. Their ideology is a foreign ideology, and it's very, very clear because none of these problems would be happening. And it's interesting. Listen to this. Listen to this COVID stuff. And I question all this stuff. I question all of it for very good reason, right? Because they have lost their credibility. They have lost the trust of the people. Absolutely. So listen to this and see. I've got it on here.
So I'm just seeing this break right now. You're going to get everything declassified from the COVID origin case?
That's right. We just passed tonight, just a few minutes ago, unanimously in the Senate, my bill which will declassify all of the information the federal government has on COVID origins. We need the House to pass it, Jesse, and then we can get this thing done. Listen, the American people, it's past time. Let's show them what the government has. Let everybody see for themselves. Let everybody read.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a setup job because I've been hearing this narrative, this lockstepping narrative of that it has come from a Wuhan lab, okay? and they have this picture, playing on here that it was made in a Wuhan lab. And there are deeper questions, more important questions, like why couldn't Christina Massey, why couldn't she get any evidence of an isolated, purified virus, COVID, to show? Why couldn't she get any virus? Not even a rabies virus, not even chickenpox virus. Why couldn't she get it? Okay. How deep does this fraud go? How long does it go? How many decades old? Is it a century old, this fraud? To, very clearly, it's big money. What a great business plan, right? What a great business plan to fake something. And then, anyway, those are questions that need to be answered. And we know that the DoD, the Department of Defense, servicing foreign and domestic enemies, and I'm talking about the 44 four-star generals and admirals here, we know that they were placed there in our beautiful uniforms with 4 stars to betray us. Okay, we know that. We know that they have betrayed us. We know that General McConville has betrayed us. I know that General Garrett has betrayed us. I know. And so, those are 2 4 stars. General Garrett is now retired. So we know that this money to make all of this happen, because, it happens for a very, very good reason. The doctor that I'm thinking of, she was also in January 6th. She was a frontline doctor. It's going to come to me, her name. But she said, because we're employees, and this is the hypnotic power they have on us, is we're employees and we're in debt, and we have families, and they maneuver with their math, their exactly what we should get, so that we can't really save money too much. And I'm not making excuses for the people, but the way our taxes are, the way housing costs are, the way everything is in society, let's just say it's not designed for our future orientation of families, and to have a cushion, so that if they don't agree with something, they can follow their morals, they can follow their character. They've just made it very, very difficult. And so this is all these planners. So the 44 4-star generals, they are different. And the reason why they're different is because they have the entire military behind them at their fingertips, and we have given them everything. We have given them so much support and anything that they needed, and endless money, endless wallets, endless purses, and they have everything. And so and they've had our love, and they've had our support. Thank you for your service. And we've tried to do everything for them, support them totally, and they have our most valuable assets, our volunteer sons and daughters that they have betrayed us with, right? They have betrayed. Why? Because they are legally obligated to care for our service members, to care for our volunteer sons and daughters, and they haven't done that. They have let them be raped. They have let them be brutally murdered. They have let them be poisoned. They have let them go into campaigns that are unnecessary and be blown up and have their legs blown up and everything like that. It's, you know, they have done things that they know are just, the racketeering and the just on and on and on, the mental health issues, the mental health medication. It's terrible. And so no esprit de corps, no Medal of Honor ethos. And you've seen that with Captain Park's letter to us, to me, and to Lieutenant Colonel's father-in-law, who's with the FBI, saying the FBI has found Richard's remains there in Juarez, Mexico. And we called the Department of State to see if that was true, if the FBI were looking for Richard's remains in Mexico, and they were. So we see the betrayal with Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, because he promised to get in the media every month until Richard was found. That hasn't happened. And we see it with Lieutenant General. We see it with all of them, okay? And Major General Clem Coward has a lot to answer for in all of this. And so I want to see what happened on TikTok. Let's see. Oh, this is the general. Let's see. Turn this off real quick. And I will go here. I think this is important. Yeah, go here. I know that was there. Okay. So, I'm on TikTok. And TikTok has been, let's say, a really good recourse. And I don't know if you can see this, but I will play it for you. But yesterday I made a TikTok about these airdropping of porn, and especially child sex porn. And also, we've just gotten new information. And the new information questions if this situation in the military has gotten so out of hand. You have to remember, Richard went to the Child Protective Service to make his complaint. He went over and above and outside the chain of command. He told us things were really bad. So who is participating in the production, the sale, and the broadcasting of child sex porn? Okay, who's doing it? And and I said, please God, don't let it be active duty soldiers' families, children. That's what I said. And I'm going to play it for you. And of course, it got, daily lately, my TikToks have been reported as bullying and harassment. If I'm praying for active duty families, soldiers, children, not to be involved in porn, child sex videos, and production, and the sale of them, and the broadcasting of them, I don't think that's bullying. I'm praying that that's not the case, and that they don't do that. Our service members are under extreme pressure. They are under the leadership of 44 four-star generals and admirals that have betrayed us, that are the worst type of criminals, the worst type. And they have a lot of power, y'all. a lot of media power, a lot of keyboard warriors, and with the FBI and FBI informants and political pundits. Okay? They want to keep up that military industrial complex, so they get a lot of support. It's a lot of money. It's a huge business plan. These foreign and domestic enemies have a say-so in this. And so this is so risky for me to just say what's going on. To just say it. I'm going to have to start making nursery rhymes. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. I'm going to have to start making Aesop's fables. So, if you're wondering how Shakespeare happened, don't wander too far. That's why Shakespeare's so popular. And anyway, so and we're getting censored, and this is censorship on TikTok, and it's not bullying. It's not bullying to say that the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado walked into a Dollar General, because Lieutenant Colonel Bugado at the time was in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM. That is the op-ord making section for Major General Clem Coward and Command Sergeant Major Jakovitz and Command Sergeant Major Jones. This is very, very important information. And so he's not just a nobody. You have to understand the FBI and the CID told us he's a nobody. He's a nobody. It's not important. But it is important because months later, see, this is why God's timing is very important, because months later, if he was posing as an FBI wrongfully, that's a federal offense. He would have gotten in trouble, but he wasn't. He was sitting pretty at his desk. And when I called him, he was working. He wasn't worried about anything. My husband's jaw dropped. I've talked to him twice. You see, he is the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado, Richard's command. Richard is a missing soldier. He's my son. And he said something. One, I'm with the FBI. Two, that the FBI found the remains of Richard in Juarez, Mexico. And why is that a secret? And the CID and the FBI told us he was a nobody, and we weren't even privileged to get his name or anything. And we had to do all the work ourselves with the help of God, with the help of Team Find Richard Halliday. And we pay, taxes, trillions of dollars that go to the DOD, the Department of Justice, the DEA, the Customs and Border Protectors. We pay so much money. And they're the FBI, and they're going to feed us that kind of garbage when it comes to the life of our son. And now they're getting protected. The child sex traffickers and the child sex porn makers, producers, sellers, broadcasters, all that porn garbage, they're getting protected. They're getting the money. They're getting, we're getting censored. And I just, it's just so, it's so bad. It's so bad. And so I appealed. This is a video right here. And I appealed it, and it said content cannot be restored. So, and I had a hard time downloading it. Normally I download it right away so that I can post it. Of course, I have my own here. Um, let's watch it.
950 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. 950 days. Can you believe it? And we have gotten new information. Of course, yesterday I was asking very disturbing information, so much so that I think it hit a nerve. It hit a nerve because the TikTok was reported. But today it's okay. So
It was
the
restored.
question is,
This
these
one was not.
airdrops. I just heard of a case where a person was given a 12-year sentence for child pornography, and he swore that it was airdropped onto his phone. And I just wonder if officials know what's going on. I think they do. I think they do. And so if you have any experience with this, please call 941-677-0060. It's very important. Not only could it help find Richard Halliday, but also it would help other people that have been sentenced for 12 years for doing nothing, for having a phone. That's a little bit concerning. Big concern. Also, where do they get these children? These very, very protected. They get more rights than Richard. They get more rights than a missing soldier. In my estimation. Oh, I might be reported. But
And
where
I
do they get
was.
these children? And do they pay for these children? And please God, do not let them discover that they're getting the children from active duty families. Please do not let that be the case. We need. This is not a cold case. So if you know anything about this, 941-677-0060. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was reported, and it cannot be restored. And I think it's such a very, very important TikTok. So you can go here to Find Richard Halliday Telegram, and you can download it and you can share it. Please share it. It's very important because you see, and I'll tell you the things that are very important here. They're making these child sex videos. That means there's child sex trafficking. They're airdropping them. These airdrops can be very dangerous. I know in a school in Duval County, that's right there in Jacksonville, Florida, it was airdropped. Indecent videos were airdropped right there to children's middle schoolers' phones. Okay, I did just a simple little search on the internet, and there are numerous cases of indecent videos, porn videos, all kinds, being airdropped to people's phones. Okay? Now, you can turn airdrop off or whatever. I understand. But some people don't, they don't know how to do all this stuff with their phone. And it gets dropped onto their phone. They're not willing. The people that airdrop it are the criminals. The people that produce it, sell it, and broadcast it and airdrop it are the criminals. Let me tell you what is dangerous about this. There is a young man in prison right now. Maybe it's a huge chance that he is wrongfully serving 12 years in prison for having this on his phone that he said was airdropped on his phone. Now, there might be more to the case, but I'm saying this is a real problem. Why is this a real problem? Because you joined the military. Richard wasn't that big of a phone person. We were in Ireland. We used burner phones. We got rid of them because we traveled so many places and we're always together. He didn't really have, homeschooled. Anyway, was he good with the phone? I don't know. But I'm just saying, you get there and they airdrop, apparently, they airdrop to his phone and he turned it in. He was brave enough to turn it in. But this is the problem, because you know that there is extortion going on. You know there is racketeering going on all the time. I cannot tell you how many, when we were there in El Paso, how many people told me about the racketeering going on there in Fort Bliss and El Paso. And there was even a 15-6 done, of course, redacted and, oh, nothing's wrong, whatever. But multitudes of people were telling us about the racketeering going on, okay? And especially during the COVID lockdown. It was just crazy, absolutely criminal what they did to us all. And so let me turn this off so I can hear better. And this is the big problem. They airdrop these child sex videos, which is so criminal, right? And they have them on soldiers' phones. And if they don't report them, this is a very good way of blackmailing, scaring to death, retaliating against our service members. Because they could spend 12 years in prison. They could get in big trouble. They could lose everything. So you put, even jokingly, whatever, I don't know how, the way the hypnotics, I even have that too. The way all the hypnotized psyops, psychological operations are, and they, oh my gosh, they're really into it. Look at there. And they, they do all of these psyops, and then they, all of a sudden, you have child sex porn on your phone, and then they're blackmailing you, or they're threatening you, or they're retaliating against you somehow, some way, severely torturing you through, threats that they could destroy you because you have that on your phone, because it was airdropped to your phone. They could really use this in a very, very destructive way. And our 44 four-star generals and admirals have proven themselves to want to destroy the United States military service member. They have proved themselves to have betrayed us. They have proved themselves to want to destroy us in any way possible. If it's with mental health issues, if it's with rape, if it's with sexual harassment, oh, shut up. If it's with terrible campaigns, if it's with terrible murders, slaughters, you name it. They have proven themselves to be enemies in our beautiful uniforms with 4 stars. And so it is not absurd for me to think that they would use this kind of method to blackmail our soldiers. to blackmail our service members, to control the ones that they want, to throw out the ones that they want, to put into the brig the ones that they want. And I'm just, it's not absurd for me to think that, to suggest that. And that's why this is so dangerous, that here I am getting censored for asking the question. And I know it was because of praying that it's not the service members' families that are being approached and that their children are being used in these videos. I'm praying that it's not that. It is so bad. When Richard said it's so bad, he meant it. It's so bad. And so I have to pray that it's not that bad. That service members are not handing over their children to perform in child sex porn videos. Okay, with that, I will definitely, please do not be hypnotized. We have children. We have our nation. We have our most valuable assets, our service members, at stake here. Okay, so I will take questions now. There's so much going on, y'all. But I don't know about this made in Wuhan. Something was making people unwell. And I don't know. I just feel like it's poison. I feel like we're being poisoned. Anyway. But that's just me thinking out loud. And am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to have a First Amendment? Am I allowed to have a Second Amendment too? Because I'm putting my life on the line. Absolutely, I have to get concealed carry, right? Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Kat. Sending hugs to you too. Thank you so much, and thank you, Grace. So this is what we think happened. Richard reported to Child Protective Services, and the IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday, and big money was being made, and Richard was a thorn in their side. And those that did this to Richard, this is what I'm thinking happened, are being protected by our 15 plus agencies, by our leadership, including and it's so big because of being on the border and Richard being found dead in Juarez, and the FBI, a huge possibility of hiding the remains of our son. And so, and that's all possibilities that are huge possibilities, and not for any, not for us just guessing, but we have evidence, we have proof, we have testimony, we have, and so where are those in leadership that care about our soldiers, that care, that want, that I guess that fear God, that want righteousness, that want justice? Where are they? Who wants to defend the Constitution, really? Because without the fear of God, without the want and will to do justice, there is, the Constitution can't survive. And I think that is their purpose. So, um, yeah, even our representatives are afraid of this case. Where is the courage? Because everybody's being so retaliated against because we have been left defenseless. And until we investigate these 44 four-star generals, why do we have 44 anyway? We only had 7 during World War II, and we had 10 times the number of service members. We had 13 million. We have only 1,300, if that, right now. But yet we have 44 four-star generals, and during World War II, we only had 7. 7? That's a big difference. We're very bloated right now. We've given them everything. We've given them everything, and the pressure is not there because there's 44 of them. So why can't they do a good job? Why can't they take care of our service members? Why is every program a failure? Why? And it's not until that is investigated, whether you like them or not, whether you like them or not, whether you served under them or whatever, do not be hypnotized. Where's that? Do not be hypnotized. They need to be investigated. They need to be audited. Very, very important. So, and it's not until then that that we're going to get answers, or unless well, God, it's all in God's timing, because we have a pretty good. You remember the truck? That's this color. It's like this color right here, with shaved handles, lowrider. I mean, we have so much information. And they try to smear Richard. There is so much protection for the child porn industry there in the service. You see, it has to be in the service. It has to be right there on Fort Bliss. And many people have to be making big money on it. Why do I say that? Because they sent a senior leader to the military police guard mount when Richard was missing to smear him groundlessly. He's a yellow Interpol. Yellow Interpol. So, why all the asymmetric warfare tactics? Why all the military operations used against Richard and Team Find Richard Halliday? Why the staged Task Force Find Richard Halliday? It was staged. There was no op board. There was no leader. Why? Because they are protecting child sex trafficking. They're protecting it. Anyway, this should be a no-brainer. Go over the border, find his remains, indict those involved. This should be a no-brainer. But they have no moral compass, no will to do what's right. And they will sell out not only our country, the land and the people, and our service members, our volunteer sons and daughters, but even our children. They'll sell them out. We've got to investigate and audit and replace where necessary, where it's good and right to do that, and get our military back. Get our we cannot be left defenseless like this. That's why COVID happened. And now you hear what President Trump is saying, that there was $50 trillion worth of damage. But it's funny that he's saying that, because he wants restitution from China for $50 trillion. Well, that'll all be talked about. But the reason why he picked that number is because that's the estimation of what our debt is going to be. Our debt is flying high, and it's going to reach very soon $50 trillion. So it's very interesting. So keep your eyes open and realize that these kinds of airdrops and everything are great ways to trap people, to trap them and then blackmail them. So be careful. Okay, God bless you and thank you. And Rob always says, don't forget to say that we love them for sticking with us for so long. And please share. And please share that video, that TikTok that they took down. Just go to the Telegram, Find Richard Halliday, and share that. That would be a great help. Thank you so much. Keep the faith. We will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing.